Hi everyone, this is a layout for GoGo Getaway and it's actually playing along with a colour challenge that we did in June at the June retreat. So here is, that was my colour swatch you just saw on screen, and I wanted to use the Boho Sunshine collection by Simple Stories and particularly wanted to use these cactuses because we go to Lanzarote all the time and there's lots of cacti there. So I thought what I would do is I would make a large section of cacti or cactuses background across the bottom of my layout, and I thought I would trim around the plants on the paper and see how that looked and see if I could build my layout on top of that. So that's what I have started off and given a go. So I'm just fussy cutting, as you can see, around the edges of all of the plants. I just rough cut it to start with and then have gone in to cut around all the details. So it's quite it was quite a lot to do, but actually it was worth it. It looks fab. Those two that stick up at the top, I think I end up cutting those off because they were a little bit too proud for the rest. The others are much more in a straight line, but those two just kind of, they must have been fillers, I reckon. So they're just kind of in the wrong place. So they didn't work in the line that I was hoping for, but you know, it's okay, that all kind of still works. Right, so nearly done. I'm just going to trim that last little bit off and then see what that looks like. There we go. There we go. It does look good, doesn't it? It looks really good. So it just means that I need to pop my photo in somewhere along that line formed by the cacti. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more detail there. So now I'm adding one of my photos. I've got a lovely whitewashed wood frame from the Boho Sunshine collection, and I've just pulled that out and I am going to put my photo in there. However, it didn't quite fit, it was a bit too small, so instead of reprinting my photo, I'm just backing the frame with white cardstock, a piece of scrap white cardstock there. You can see my boy had written football scores all over it. I'm just backing that with a piece of spare white card, and then I can pop my photo inside it. So therefore I didn't need to reprint the photo to the size of the frame. So I quite often do that. That works well for me because I print my photos mostly at the same size, and then I just make them work with whatever I'm using. Okay, so photo in frame, frame on layout, tucked in to all of the cactuses or cacti. Now that one that protrudes above is completely in the way, of course, so I'm just going to I will cut that off and use it elsewhere. But you can see what I'm just trying to do is tuck the photo in so that it sits below or along that line where the cactuses are. So there we go. I've just made extra cuts around the pots and things, and then I was able to slot my photo or my frame in place. And the one that I cut out from the back, I've just fussy cut out completely, and then I'm going to add it there. All right, so that's looking good. I'm happy with the initial arrangement of the layout, and then from now on I just need to then add all of the pretty bits. So that cactus there was being covered up entirely, so I thought I could maybe use that as an embellishment elsewhere. So I've just trimmed that off as well. The pot actually was going to remain on show, so I just took the cactus part itself and then I'm going to layer that behind another one so that it looks like a full one, even though it's not. Oh, actually no, I'm not. I'm going to stick it along the bottom of my frame, so that works too. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with how that is now looking, getting that stuck in place, and now I just need to add some embellishments and titles and things to the rest of the layout. So I've got the first part in place already, and I've got all of the colours from the colour scheme already on that cactus paper. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's it, challenge done. So now I just need to keep adding all of the lovely embellishments. So I love this Good Vibes title. I wasn't quite sure where I should put it. everything's getting a bit lost because of the background. It's looking a little busy. I needed it to go on some white space really, but I had that cactus protruding on the right hand side, which is probably a bit too high, and that goes into the white space next to my photo, and then it all just looks a little bit cluttered. So I'm just trying out some different options. I like that Be Happy. That's a lovely title too from the Bits and Pieces, but again, didn't look quite right in that gap because the cactus is in the way, and not enough white space around it. So I'm just putting the title to one side for a moment and thinking about that again in a minute, and I'm looking around for some other embellishments that I can use. Obviously the layout is very busy already, so I just need to be careful that I don't overload it. I can be a bit guilty of doing that, get a bit excited and want to use everything. Yeah, I just need to make sure that I don't overdo it. So yeah, walked away from it for a bit and had a think, and then I've come back and I've figured it out. I cut out the cactus that was causing me bother, and I've moved it over to the right hand side. You can see it just protruding over now. So that gave me a gap, and then I've raised my title higher, much higher, so that I have a little cluster of things going on at the top there. So I've got the Good Vibes title from the foam stickers, I've got the sunshine and some flowers. I've really built up the cluster on the left hand side of the photo as well and filled in that gap really. I've got flowers and rainbows and plants and hearts and more cactuses, and now I'm adding some decorative brads and enamel dots to those two clusters, filling in the gaps, making sure all the colours are in place and looking lovely. So yeah, I'm happy with how that's all come together eventually. It took me a little while to get there, and I did have to go and fiddle around with it off camera. Sometimes you just need to do that, don't you? Just walk away, have a break, come back later with a fresh mind, fresh set of eyes, and then it all kind of works, which is what happened on this occasion. But I say I did have to do a bit off camera and try and like play around with it. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's all looking. It's a bit different to normal, but I think it looks great. I'm really happy with, I love all the cactuses. That was what I really wanted to get onto this layout, was a big section of that cactus paper. So just going to finish off now with a few splatters of white paint. I'm shaking it on directly from my paint shaker, and then going in with some smaller splatters with the paintbrush too. So there we go, that is my layout complete. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you were at June Getaway, I hope you enjoyed playing along with the colour challenge. I love these colours, they're such lovely, beautiful summer colours. So yeah, I hope you had fun, yeah, thank you very much for joining me today and watching along. That was Nikki Rowland for GoGo Getaway.